All right, guys. So I am back. I'm just going to give everyone just a couple of minutes to get back in here because I did have to go on ahead and get out of this in order to start a new one. So, back to what I was talking about before. Today, we're going to do a training on how to really use ATS to its fullest. Whether it's that you already have the service and you've kind of been playing around with it, but you're not 100% sure how to use it, or whether you've been thinking about getting the service, but you've also kind of said to yourself, I don't really know how I would use this service. That's what this is for. I'm going to go over step by step how to use About Town Social to plan your content on social media, as well as how to use it for a few other applications. Now, I will warn, as I said before, for those of you who were here, I am going to go over how to use About Town Social in a planning software. As many of you guys know, I do preach actually planning your social media content from a third party app. The reason being, it allows you to do it quickly, it allows you to do it easily, and it allows you to actually make sure that it gets done. The complaints that I hear when it comes to why you're not showing up on social media generally start with, oh, I don't have anything to post. And then it's, oh, I don't have any pictures or video. But then the top one is, oh, I don't have time. And so, what I'm showing you guys today is how to use About Town Social to save yourself that time and plan an entire week of social media training. Well, we won't go over the exact planning, but basically showing you how to use About Town Social to its fullest. I want to make sure that for anyone who gets this service, that you are getting absolutely everything out of it. Here's why. Everything in About Town Social is built for engagement. It is built for people to be able to see you, for people to be able to find you. But if you're not using all of the aspects of it, you're not going to get those benefits. I am also going to let you guys know that towards the end of this, I will do a Q&A. However, if you have any questions as you come on, please type them in the chat box. Also, feel free just to type a hello so that I know that you're here, because sadly my Facebook video is doing that thing right now where it's not showing me how many people are here. So, in about one more minute, I'm going to go on ahead and really get started and get into this training. Again, just to go over a brief what it's all about, I'm going to show you how to get the most out of your subscription to About Town Social. Whether you're a person who already subscribes and you've kind of been playing with it, but you've been using one piece and not another piece, or you're a person who's kind of been on the fence about, I don't know if I should subscribe to this. How will this work for my business? That's what we're here to talk about today. I want to make sure that you are getting key engagements and you're getting top tier service, and that you are able to really use this service to up level your social media presence. So, we're going to go over how to use it to post, how to make sure that you're using all of the facets of it. And then towards the end, I'll also go over some other applications that you can use About Town Social for. So, I'm gonna go on ahead and get started now. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to go on ahead and type them into the chat box there, and I will be glad to answer them towards the end. You can also feel free to ask them towards the end. So, starting out, you see that I have open here the screen, which is the posting service that I use. It's called Planoly. They have free options and options that are not free, but this is the one that I really recommend if your main social media channel is going to be Instagram. If you're more of a Facebooker, I would recommend Hootsuite, but what I'm about to do, a lot of it is going to be the very same or very, very similar. So before we start any of this, you're going to want to make sure that you download all of your content and download it somewhere you can see it. So that's the photos, the videos, the photos, the quotes, and the hashtags and the captions. Next up, you're going to want to make a social media plan. I'm not going over that in this training, but there is a training in the group that will allow you to see how I plan social media, and we actually have another one of those coming up. So here we're going to pretend that we've already downloaded our calendar. We've already sat down and written out what it is that we want to do, and we're going to take it from there. So This is my account on Planoly. As you can see, my smiling face. Step one here is going to be that I'm going to take a look here and I'm going to drag over all of the photos that I want to use. So say that I've decided that for my first week, I want to do an all about me post, an all about NOLA post, a behind the scenes post, an inspire me post. So I'm going to drag all those over. And again, depending on your planning software, the dragging over may look different, but that's pretty much the gist of it. So now you see those there. And just for fun, because I know a few of you have never even gone into this folder, I'm going to go into my bonuses folder. And these are generally fun quotes that you can use to fill some space in your social media and really get people talking. So I'm going to look at these, and why don't we go on ahead and go with quote number 2? It's failure that gives you the proper perspective on success. I'm going to drag that one over there too. Great. So now I've got 5 quotes here. So you'll notice that when I drag them over, I did drag them over in order. So I did all about me number 1, which is the city sign here. And now you will see that right here. So now I'm going to go into my planning software and you see it right there. The next thing that I'm going to do is go on ahead and go into my captions. I'm going to open all of my captions in whichever program you want to open them up in. And for me personally, I use the PDF reader. So I used About Me, All About Me 1. That's the city picture. So here on your captions, you'll see the category is All About Me. You have the city here, which matches the photograph. And then you have the post copy. New Orleans has been called the biggest little city in the country, and so on and so forth. So now what am I going to do? I am going to take this post here. Let's see. Oops, that's not going to work. Undo. All right, going to undo that as well. I am not sure why, but this is not letting me edit this. All right, there we go. Sorry, guys. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it, or copy it, excuse me. Then I'm going to come over here into my planning software and I'm going to paste it. So now I have everything in here. I have a photograph and I have the caption that goes with the photograph, which again, how do you know it goes with the photograph? You see your category here, which is All About Me, your first photo, which says city. This is the city. It goes together. So now I'm going to come in here and fill this in with my own copy in the fill in the blank areas. Now, I do want to take this second to say, remember, you do want to try to make these sound like you wherever you can. So in some cases, I've heard people say that they would rather actually pull these into a separate program and that from there, they'll go on ahead and do their edits. And either way, whichever one you're comfortable with, go with it. But for now, I'm going to pretend like I want to use this just as it is. So I'm going to say New Orleans has been called the biggest little city in the country, and there's a reason. While most people can tout 6 degrees of separation, we usually have about 2. Everyone literally knows everyone here, and that's what makes it such an incredible place to live. What part of the city are you from? I'm from, and this is where you're going to erase this line here. And as you can see, all of the text there gives you different things that you can fill in the blank. You can say, I'm from such and such and so and so. And then you can say, you know, something else about that. So what I'm going to say is, I'm from New Orleans East, but spent most of my adolescence, if I could spell. All right, we're just going to spell check that, guys, because I actually can't spell. All right, great. Spent most of my adolescence uptown. And then we're going to say, what part of the city are you from? I'm from New Orleans East, but spent most of my adolescence uptown. I just might know your people. Now, you can move this around. So for me, I would say that's what makes New Orleans such an incredible place to live. And then I would take this and I would erase and I would say, I'm from New Orleans East, but spent most of my adolescence uptown. What about you? Where are you from? Hey, I just might know your people. And There you have it. That's an entire post. So now for me, I'm going to pick a scheduled date. It'll be arbitrary. Say I'm going to post it at a certain time, and I'm going to press save. Now, there is another thing that I need to do here. This is not a business account, but I can save my hashtags. So I'm going to go here into my hashtags and create a new group. And it's going to be all about me 1. Then I'm going to come over here. I am going to copy these hashtags. I'm going to paste them here. Now where it says hashtag your profession, I'm going to put exactly that, my profession. And I'm going to put any hashtags that go with my profession here. So I'm going to put personal brand photographer, hashtag NOLA photographer, hashtag, let's see, follow your NOLA, hashtag photography. Yours are going to look different here. Anything that you put there is pretty much going to be hashtags that apply to you, but they won't apply to everyone else. So now I'm going to save those. And voila. If this were a business account, I would be able to go on ahead and just put the hashtags in there, but it's not. So what I'm going to do is post them separately because I like to post my hashtags in the first comment. But what if you don't? What if you just want it all to be done? That's doable as well. I'm going to go back into my picture, and you see here where I have my caption. And then at the end of it, I'm just going to put some dots in between for separation. And I'm going to go on ahead and copy those exact same hashtags. And then I'm done. Now, if this photo were to go up like this, my hashtags and everything go up with it. So guess what? That is actually all done. I just came back over here to see if we had any questions. I don't see any yet. Remember, if you have any questions, do feel free to type them into the chat box here. So next up, I would go through and do that with the other photos that I had put in there, right? So I did that one. Now, what's the next one? The next one that I decided to do was, that was all about me. The next one was all about NOLA. So we see that that's my CDM coffee here. So I'm going to scroll down to my next post category, which is going to be all about NOLA. And here we have the post copy for what? Cafe au lait. That matches my picture here with the Cafe au lait sign, and it matches my category. So again, I'm going to go on ahead and copy this caption. I'm going to paste it here. And I'm going to fill in the blanks. Forget coffee and donuts. Down here, we do beignets and cafe au lait. I love getting beignets from, where do you like to go get them? Personally, I'm old school, so I like getting beignets from Cafe du Monde. Where do you like to get your beignet fix? Share in the comments below. Now again, you could put anything here. You could put, where do you like to get your beignet fix? Share them with me so I know where to go next time I'm out and about. Now I'm going to schedule this one for whatever date and whatever time. Now again, I'm going to treat this as though I don't feel like having to go back and put hashtags into my comments. So I'm going to put my little dots there. Those are periods, by the way. I'm going to take my optional hashtags here. I'm going to copy them and I'm going to paste them. And now, as you see, they're all there. And again, I'm just going to put in my profession and any other hashtags that go with my profession, or really anything that I want to throw in there. So now that's done. I've got a time and everything saved. So I'm hoping that what you guys can all see here is that you can continue doing that, so on and so forth. And before you know it, you will have an entire week of social media posts saved. Now, if you want to use your own photos, of course, you can still do this the same way. That's where the planning piece comes in, where you would know what photos you're using so that you can drag those over and you can say, okay, this picture of the city, instead, I'm going to use a picture of myself with the cityscape behind me, and you know that. So now what you're able to do is to go on ahead and, sorry about that, guys. So now what you're able to do is to go on ahead and use the same caption for your photo. Or say you love this photo, but you want to use your own caption. Drag the photo over, put your caption here. Either way, you are good to go. As you can see, in less than 10 minutes, I've planned out 2 posts that are going to go out on different days of the week and are going to allow me to do what? Stay consistent on social media. So, what I've done here, of course, is used all 3 facets of About Town Social. I have used the photo, I have used the caption, and I have used the suggested hashtags. So now what that means is I have a good photo that people can look at and they're going to say, wow, that's great. I want to look at this. Then I also have a caption that is engaging and that causes people to engage with me. And then last but not least, I have put out hashtags that are going to help people find me. Guys, I can't say it enough. If you are not using all of the portions of About Town Social, and I do mean all of them, you are missing out. Let me say it again. You are missing out. All of them go together. And again, they are interchangeable, of course. I'm not telling you to never use your own photo. I'm not telling you to never use your own caption. But especially if you use your own caption, make sure that it's engaging in the same way that this caption is. So what do I mean by that? Let's say we go to our next one here, which was our wine glass, and that one is going to be all about Nola. And I think it's gonna be all about Nola. Let's see there. All about Nola. Maybe not. That is going to be, let me see if I can find it really quick. That's gonna be BTS. Sorry about that, friends. That's gonna be behind the scenes. So that's your wine glass mural. Here it is. So let's say I want to use this picture, but I want to use a different hashtag. A different caption. How do you change up your captions? So what you're noticing here is that this caption, anyone feel like a drink right now? What's your favorite tasty beverage these days? I'm loving. What's in your cup these days? What are all of these things doing? They're asking people to engage with you. Everyone always remember that the algorithm on Instagram favors engagement. And it favors it so much so that people who are getting engagements, their posts are actually shown to more people on Instagram. If no one's engaging with your posts, the algorithm will decide that no one's interested in them. And so it'll stop showing them to people. You don't want that. So even if you're going to write your own, maybe you're going to say, okay, it's been a long day and I think I need a drink. Sometimes things seem really hopeful and other times they're a little difficult. What's your favorite beverage these days? Are you living on coffee, wine, or a combination of both? Let me know in the comments below and let's drink and let's cheers to one another. Something like that would work perfectly. Why? Because it does the same thing. It gets people engaged. As for another photo, say you have a photo of yourself with a cup of coffee, or you have a photo of yourself with your wine glass. Feel free to replace this photo with that and use our caption. No matter what, make sure that you're at least starting with our hashtags. All of these are hashtags that have been researched. Some of them have a lot of followers, some of them have in that 200,000 range, but these 2 down here are going to be the ones that let me and other people in this group know that you're posting so that we can show you some love. So make sure that you're using all of your tools. So that's about it for your Instagram. Again, Hootsuite Buffer, the software is a little bit different, but they're going to look about the same. So once you're using one of them, as I said, like this kind of training will get you through using any of them. Remember to vary them up. Remember that you can take this caption and copy it into an entire other software so that you can actually sit there and rewrite it and rework it and make sure that it's something that you want. You will have to put a little bit of work into these. They take a little bit of elbow grease, but that's not a bad thing, guys. Once you put it in, you get things that are just for you. Now, I'm going to do one more. So let's go down to what's after All about Nola. I'm skipping holidays because if there's not a holiday that goes in there, you won't just put it. So I'm going to inspire me. And it is French Quarter art. And what do we see here? We see our photo of the art in the French Quarter that we dragged over. So what are we going to do? We're going to highlight it, copy, and paste. Then I'm going to read this. Creative blocks happen like flat tires happen. And we all know that flat tires tend to happen right when you need to go somewhere. Well, the same goes for creative blocks. Whenever I'm having a creative block, and trust me, it happens, what do? So I'm going to say I go out for a walk or a street car ride and daydream until I've cleared my head. What do you do to get creatively unstuck? Share in the comments below. Great. Now I'm going to take my hashtags. I'm going to copy. I'm going to come back to my window here. I'm going to, again, put some separation, add my hashtags, and then I'm going to erase this your profession, actually put in my profession, and any other hashtags that I want to put here. Then I'm going to pick a date. I'm going to pick a time, and I'm going to press save. And again, I'm done. That's a whole post, y'all. That is done. It didn't take me sitting down thinking about it a whole lot or anything like that. I was able to use About Town Social and come out with a photo, an entire post that was all done. Couple of housekeeping areas. If your main social media channel is Facebook, meaning that you're using Hootsuite or Buffer to post, you do not need to post hashtags on Facebook. Again, I repeat, you do not need to post hashtags on Facebook. Facebook does not read hashtags. So only use those if you're on Instagram. Otherwise, don't worry about it. I believe Twitter actually reads them too, but with Twitter, you have to be so careful about your character count that you may actually have to type those in. So I know you may be asking yourself, what if I want to do this from my phone? You can totally do that. It looks about the same. You can even post in real time with this, guys. You simply have to download the photos to your phone, go into Instagram, press the little plus symbol, and do everything we just did here. It's just my opinion that that can be a little bit more difficult than doing it from a desktop or a laptop because it can be hard to copy, paste, and fill in the blanks. But again, it is 100% doable if you're not comfortable going with a service. So now that we've gone over how to utilize About Town Social for your social media, I'm also going to talk to you guys about how to use About Town Social for things that are not your social media. So I really wish that I could undo this screen sharing, but for some reason I cannot. So you're just gonna have to listen to me while I am not, while my face is not showing, and for that I apologize. You can use these in blog posts. So say, for example, you want to post something about morning routines. You can say, okay, I've got this photo with the cafe au lait and the beignets and the CDM. So let me go back up here to my posts all about Nola Cafe au lait. So I can turn this into a blog post, into an email, anything. I would take my picture, I would drag it over into whatever planning software I'm using. And then I would say, what do you do in the morning when you first get up? For me personally, I'm not much of a coffee and donuts person. I prefer to go and get beignets. And then I would probably, because we have more space now, we're not on Instagram or Facebook, I would elaborate on that. I would say, I like to walk in the quarter. I like to hear the sounds. I like to smell the smells and be among the other New Orleanians. My favorite place to get beignets is Cafe Du Monde. And when I'm there, I like to walk over to the river and I like to look out at the water. I also love to buy the silly little hats. If you're looking for somewhere in New Orleans that's wonderful to get breakfast, you should definitely give them a try. What about you? Do you have any other places that you get your beignets from? Let me know in the comments because I'd love to try them and blog about them later. So that's just yet another way that you can use it. You can use these in an email. You can use them anywhere. Guys, the sky is really the limit. So That is all that I have for you today, namely because of the fact that you cannot see my face. Hopefully, the next time that we do this, I will have set this up better on my computer. I will tell you that this is a brand new computer and there must be a setting that I'm getting wrong. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Definitely feel free to catch the replay if you didn't make it. And as always, you can always send me a message in the group or post questions if you have any questions about what I just did, about Town Social, or about how to plan social media. Thank you all again and take care.